What's up guys, Spectacular Scarlet 118 here, and today I'm here to review a costume that I got from printcostume.com. So this isn't a new suit by any means, especially because of the hiatus that my channel has been on, but I did want to review it because my good friend Alex, aka the Longest Cosplays, made the pattern for it, and I love to promote his work because it's very spectacular, if I do say. And I had a hand in helping create this pattern. As you can tell by the thumbnail and the title of the video, this suit is another King Parker Scarlet suit. And yes, I know I'm notorious for doing 1,000 of these things, but this one is very special to me because it commemorates a lot of the design aspects. I feel like a lot of patterns, or it honors the original design by Ryan Stegman that I feel like a lot of other patterns don't personally really get right. And I had a hand in playing with this because, and making this because when Alex was making it, I sent him references and I gave him pointers and tips on it. And so it's a very special pattern to me. It's a very special suit. And it just really, this is the final Kane suit. And I know I say that every single time, but I wasn't happy with the last Gunhead design suit that I got, and I have donated that to Alex. So you guys should check out his account. Please go follow the Longest Cosplays. I'll link him down below. Go support his content. Follow his channel. Buy some patterns from him. So let's just go ahead and review the suit. Starting out, I got a color fabric suit because I love color fabrics, and especially with Kane suits, I think that it really suits the character. And so if you want some price information here from me, a standard color fabric suit is going to cost you, and I got this with wrist zippers, a U-shaped zipper. Color fabric suits, you're going to need a U-shaped zipper because of the way that the colors are broken up, the way that's sewn, and especially with a back spider, you're going to need a U-shaped zipper. I personally prefer vertical zippers, which go all the way down the back. The U-shaped zipper goes from one underarm to the other. Actually, my suit is open. I didn't even realize that. Sorry about that. Let me zip that up real quick so I can help show you guys this better. But as you can see, I'm zipping up here. It goes from one end of the underarm to the other. My zipper got caught a little bit here. These zippers are pretty easy to use for the most part, except when you're using spandex fingers to mess with spandex itself. That's why the wrist zippers are helpful, because when you use these wrist zippers, they really help you get your hands out and be able to access food, your phone, and to more easily access these zippers. So that's why I recommend those. I got a detached mask, and I'll get into the mask in a second because the Longest pattern didn't make the pattern for the mask, and I'll get to that a separate section of the video. But overall, with all these add-ons, and especially with Kung Fu shoes, which I'll get into in a second, this suit would probably cost you anywhere from like upwards of $100. I'd say a good price ballpark is like $100 to $130 is what you can expect from print costume. And the quality is incredible. I know a lot of people complain about color fabrics being thinner and not as comfortable, but I actually argue the opposite. I feel like thinner fabrics feel better. They're more lightweight and they're more comfortable. They're more silky feeling. When I imagine spandex, it feels silkier like this, not like a dye sub where it feels still good, but a little thicker. And I guess people have their preferences, but I personally prefer the thinner color fabrics. And the print costume did a beautiful job too, because they printed the black on black and the red on red. And I personally asked them to not mess with the spider. So the black is printed onto the red fabric here. So if you stretch it a little bit, it's going to fade into red. And I'll show you guys that a little bit more detailed up close when I go and zoom into it. And so they did the same thing on the fingers, and I asked them to do color fabric fingers, but they turned out this muddy red color. It personally doesn't bother me because it actually reminds me of my original Kane suit that I did. And I'm going to have a comparison between these two because a lot of this suit is a nostalgia factor. I asked for a bigger logo because, well, first off, Kane suit has a bigger logo, but secondly, my original suit had a bigger logo, so that really is a nostalgia thing. And these fingers are nostalgic because when I painted my original Kane suit, the fingers were kind of a muddy red like this. Moving on to my favorite part of the costume, I asked for top stitch back spider, a back logo that is made out of red fabric, the same fabric that's the rest of the costume, and it's beautiful. Like this quality is beautiful. Obviously, there's some edges that aren't sewn down all the way, and that's okay. I just think that this looks beautiful. I think anytime you can get a top stitch logo with the same fabric, do it, because I think that this is just so special and unique because it feels like it's actually handcrafted, and it is. Print Costume did a good job. They always do a good job getting a lot of small details like this down. So I think that that's really cool from them. But yeah, wrist zippers, again, if you want to take a look at those, pretty straightforward. You just go from the top all the way down. So if you open that up, you can get your hands out and access some stuff. Kung Fu shoes for newcomers to cosplay. These work pretty simple. You kind of open up a shoe on the inside when you're putting the costume on, and you open it up and you slide your foot in there. It can be a little tricky at first, but it works better than soles, because soles that are on this suit are just kind of like flip-flops on a costume, and I honestly don't recommend that as someone who has used soles for many years and has even put flip-flops on a costume. It's not worth it. Get Kung Fu shoes. They're 100% worth it. And just again, commending Alex for his work here. Beautiful design job on his part. I'm mixing up my words today, guys. And I really think that he just nailed Kane's pattern. So again, link to him down below. Please support him. He's my best friend, and I think that you guys should really support him, buy some patterns from him. He's got a lot of great work, including the Ditko suit, the upgrade one that I did, or that he did and I cosplayed. Moving on to the mask, I wanted to talk about this because this is another nostalgia factor for me. This is the mask that I commissioned from Spider Pleb. If you guys don't know Pleb, he does a lot of designs with Universal Studios and East Brooks patterns. If you don't know what that is, it's like the Japanese Spider-Man, or it's like the old 1970s like classic Spider-Man costume that would be promotional, used in a lot of promotional material. And obviously the Universal Studios suit, which I own. So obviously he collaborates with other people as well, but I specifically went to Pleb for this because I wanted fabric lenses. They're not even lenses, they're eyes. I wanted mesh fabric eyes because of my original suit being just spandex fabric that I'd looked through. So I really wanted to kind of make this like a tribute to my old costume. And honestly, I really love the way these look. And I love the way that the visibility is, like I can see really well. I do have to say, however, that this took a couple of attempts to get right. Initially, I don't know if you guys remember, you can look back on my channel when I had a minor setbacks video. They originally sent me this in white, and the red mesh wasn't good at all. Like you could see all the way through it. So when they sent me this one, the right one, I ended up having, since I live close to the Longest Cosplays, I had him help me rip up those stitches and sew the old eyes onto this one, so it doubles up the red mesh. So I'm just going to warn you guys that red mesh or any colored mesh eyes from Print Costume is possible if you want to do a Spider Sona suit, or if you want to do mesh eyes on any other suit with a different color. They're possible, but the visibility to see your eye from the outside in is going to be a little bit higher. So you might want to get some mesh on your own and double up on that if possible. So but I really do love this. It's a very nostalgic design. So I'm going to link Pleb too. Thank you again, Pleb, for this. He kind of gave it to me as a gift. One thing I wish I'd added was a mask zipper, because again, I've made my same mistake that I always make in not getting a mask zipper. I always forget it. I'm like, dang, I always forget to get a mask zipper. So I recommend a mask zipper because it just really helps out in general. So with that being said, though, that is pretty much the suit, and I'm going to give you guys a closer in-depth look of it, so keep on watching. Alright guys, here's a closer look at the suit, and again, look at the beautiful colors on this. Like, it just shines. And here's that logo that I said that was printed on black to the red fabric. So if you're ever worried about getting a logo, or even webs for that matter,
printed on a red classic Spidey suit. I wouldn't worry about too much because this actually looks pretty good. It looks like it's actually just uniform with that, because I kind of wanted this to be top stitch actually, now that I remember it, but I think they said that this section would be too thin to do, so I understood that. But if I do stretch it out a little bit, like if I put my finger through there, you can see it's a little red section kind of shows through. So the fading is going to be there. It's not super noticeable on the chest, but I can understand where that could be noticeable in other spots. The seam works pretty good too, for that matter. But yeah, there's not much else because, you know, down below, it's just all red. So on a usual suit, I'd kind of bring you through details and stuff. Let's take a look at the fingers again. These things are pretty good. Again, they have that same problem where you can tell they're a little muddy, red, black combo. There's some tearing there. I wore this to a con. So again, I think that, there we go, adjusted the brightness a little bit because it keeps adjusting, kind of get it all going here. But I can understand where this would be a problem for some people, but for me, it's not much of an issue regardless. But if you take a look at the back here, let's look at that beautiful back logo. God, it's just amazing. And again, another thing that I want to commemorate, I keep saying commemorate, commend Alex on, is getting this down all the way. Because I remember one of my biggest gripes with cane patterns is that the back, like, it's supposed to go down pretty deep based off of Ryan Stegman's art. At least it's supposed to have a unique shape. And I think Alex captured that, and he captured the spider really well. So it all kind of comes together pretty nicely here. Really appreciate the attention to detail on Alex's part. It's really, I sent him a lot of references from Ryan Stegman's work specifically because it's the original artist who drew Kane's suit. I know it's also based off of Scotty Young's design too, because he helped Stegman design it. But stitch work on this is great. Now I know some spots kind of pop up here and there, but it's beautiful. I love the back stitch spider. So I'll flip that back around, and then the mask again here by Pleb. Spider Pleb is great, and Alex did a great job helping me. You can kind of see there's different layers to this thing, but you can't really see. I'm gonna stick my hand in there and kind of show you guys, like, because, you know, on the Universal Studio suit, if you remember, if you can go back and watch that review too, I talk about the mesh eyes and you can't really see anything, and you can't really. I'm trying to stretch. Like if I stretch it out like that, yeah, you can see my skin, but you're not going to see my eyes through that. So I recommend getting double layer on the mesh for the eyes. I do like the shape of these because they're very kind of mean looking, and they're very kind of reminiscent again of my original suit. Not much to show on the other side though, so I can kind of reverse it if you want. That's the inside of the mask. You can see some of the stitch work done by Alex. This isn't print costume stitching. It's just kind of Alex's patchwork, which again, thank you, Alex. Go support the Longest Cosplays, guys. He deserves it. But yeah, so now I'm going to try the suit on, guys.
Alright guys, here's the suit. Personally, I think this is my favorite costume I've ever owned at this point. I really think that Alex did a fantastic job knocking it out of the park. Now, obviously, if you notice my mask, there's a couple of wrinkles here and there. That's just what you're going to get with fabric lenses, especially on a larger scale like these ones. On a Universal suit or an Eves Brooks suit, you're still going to get the wrinkles. It's a personal preference. I just think it's a nostalgia thing for me because it reminds me so much of my homemade cane suit, and it just brings a nostalgia feel to me, and I honestly really appreciate it. So, obviously, you can see the front here. The spider looks good. I don't think there's much fading on it currently. Fingers look good. They feel good. They even are kind of the circular, that circle kind of roundness to them. Can't speak or can't think of words right now, but I guess I'm just in awe of how beautiful this costume is. Overall, Kane's suit is a very simple one, so there's not much to go over here. Again, and I know I've reviewed like 1,000 cane suits on my channel. I've talked about 1,000 cane suits, but I can't tell you how much I really am happy with this one. And so this is just the last one. This is the last cane suit. The one thing I will say though is I am probably going to make different masks with actual lenses to kind of go with this suit, because I do really love this nostalgic fabric lens eye mesh thing, but I also want more modern looks too to go with this costume. So be on the lookout for that. I might have videos on that. I actually did now. Actually got what do you call it? PC mesh, PC fan mesh. So unlike perforated vinyl, I can actually make colored lenses now. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make Stegman style again, and I'm gonna probably do Giuseppe Camuncoli style. This is always the most awkward part of doing these review videos, but I'm gonna kind of try to show you the back of the suit. Maybe just like that, if you guys could see that. The back spider looks beautiful, I think, personally, so say what you will about it, but that's the whole suit, guys. Again, please go support Longest Cosplays. His pattern shop is beautiful, so I'll link that and his Instagram and his YouTube down below. So go check him out. Go support Pleb as well. I'll link him down below too. And with that being said, just let me know down below what you think about this costume. You love it, you hate it? Please tell me down below. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Use code Scarlet118 at printcostume.com. Follow me on Instagram at Spectacular Scarlet if you want more content. Alright guys, Spectacular Scarlet 118 out. See ya.